back to another episode of the Iron Pulse podcast. Today, Kyle and I are going to be discussing some benefits to sleep. I think we all know it's important, but just because it's important, I don't think that we necessarily take advantage of it. Fully, at least. I'm pretty tired right now. I feel like I could use some sleep right now.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling, Kyle?
I was just about to say I'm pretty exhausted as well. I just went over to one of my buddy's houses and helped him mulch his yard. So, I mean, I could definitely use a solid nap.
Is it sunny in Cleveland right now?
Yeah, this was one of the few days in the northeastern hemisphere where we had sun showing through the clouds.
I feel like
it's a pretty nice day though. It's like 75.
Right. I mean, think about like being out at the beach and stuff, like the sun just beating on you makes you so tired too.
The sun does play an effect.
Yeah,
for sure.
Takes it out of you. But we can start out just with, how much sleep should you be getting? For infants and like newborns and toddlers, obviously like they need, want, and get more sleep. It depends on everybody's child's going to be different, but as you continue to get older, you get less sleep, right? Think about like where you start as a child, you sleep a lot, but then whenever you get older, I feel like grandparents sleep like 6 hours a day, maybe
yeah.
6 or 7.
Outside of the typical, nighttime window.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Although right now, like, I feel like, what are you getting right now, Kyle? Like 7, 8 hours of sleep?
Yeah, I would say 7 to 8.
That's about typical, I would say, for a young adult. Anywhere from like 7 to 9. Is it like, I personally don't sleep like solid all the way through the night. Like I'm up like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, no, I don't sleep like through the night. Like I'll wake up at random times. I've been trying to find better ways to practice, better, routines before I go to bed. Like, I try to put my phone away and not look at it. Try not to look at the TV. I actually tried starting to read a couple nights a week before I go to bed, see if that has any impact on the way that I sleep, which I think it kind of does because I'm not staring at a phone screen for, 3 to 5 hours before I go to bed.
Right.
Or a computer screen for that matter. So, it kind of helps like looking at something that's not this bright, luminescent light looking right back at me.
I try to do that, but
kind of be a little helpful.
Right. I try to put my phone down, but then once my mind starts racing, it's just worse.
Right. Well, because then your mind starts racing. You're like, I need something to get my mind off this. So, the easiest thing is to pick up your phone if you're laying in bed. And at that point, I don't know.
You start thinking about like just scenarios that aren't going to happen. Like, all of a sudden I'm going to be hit with a tornado or be drowning with sharks all around me. Like I'm in the middle, I'm in a landlocked state, and I'm thinking about like worst case scenarios and just unrealistic things that would happen. So then I got to like have some TV on or my phone, like a little bit of background.
Do you fall asleep with the TV on? I feel like you do.
Sometimes. Usually, like
most of the time.
Yeah, it depends. When I'm like really stressed and like there's just a lot going on, I need something like, or if I have like anxiety, like I need something in the background that I know, like I'll put on like a TV show or like a movie that, like a comedy or something that I'm like very familiar with that I know like how it's going to play out like through and through. Something that just like helps like calm me down a little bit. Mm-hmm. That helps with anxiety for me. But usually like I used to not sleep with like a TV on like at all. Like I hated it, couldn't fall asleep with noise. But like as I like add more stress to the plate, I love to have, even if it's a fucking cartoon, like cartoons or, whatever the case is. I usually run through like the same like 4 or 5 TV shows like throughout the year. I'll have like a routine of what I'll watch. And it's just because like I know that like it's gonna, settle me down. It's gonna make me happier or whatever the case is, but we can do a whole episode on anxiety. But anyway, I know a lot of people rely on melatonin, but once you take it over and over again and you actually build that dependence on it, it's a lot harder to fall asleep once you like slowly wean yourself off of it, or your tolerance becomes so much. It's like caffeine, right? It's like anything, right? If you do it too much, you become used to it. And then, it takes more and more to get you to sleep. Or if you try to like cut back, then it's harder to go to sleep. Um, I should probably like stop drinking caffeine so late, but it's terrible, dude. It's terrible because throughout the whole day, like I'll drink some coffee, like get me throughout the whole day, and then like if I go to the gym at night, I need like some form of boost and pick me up. But then it's harder to fall asleep. But I know a lot of people are in the same boat as me. I mean, I know you've done it a few times. You try to go to the gym after work now, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like I would love to go in the morning, but I don't know. It's one of those things where like I can get up, pretty consistently at like 6:45, 7, but I feel like sometimes it just doesn't give me enough time to go lift beforehand. But
right,
yeah, most of the time I go after work. And to your point, I mean, after you're sitting at a desk or a computer for the whole day, it's like, well, I need some form of caffeine to get me there.
right.
So yeah, taking caffeine, at that time definitely affects the way that you're gonna sleep. Obviously, the following night.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But some benefits to actually sleeping that 7 to 9 hours. It's good for your mental health. It's going to help you increase your performance, whether this is like exercise or just mentally throughout the day, or just moving throughout the day at your job. Whatever the case is, it's going to increase your productivity. You're going to most likely be happier, unless you're just generally peeved off at the world. Then maybe sleep isn't the best answer. But it's going to also strengthen your immune system, strengthen your heart, help you prevent weight gain. I know that that's a big one too for a lot of people, is making sure like when they're in a diet, especially when they're in like a caloric deficit, is making sure that they're actually like getting a sufficient amount of sleep. And we've talked about that before, in a different episode, Kyle. But
yeah,
I know
we've definitely touched on the subject before too, because it's one of those things that's, if you want to perform your best both mentally and physically, like you have to give your body a rest. And I mean, when you don't give your body enough rest, you run into things like memory issues. It could lead to high blood pressure, weakened immune system. Like you could get sick easily.
You're more at risk for diabetes because your insulin resistance is worse.
And the other thing too with sleep is like, you have different stages of sleep. And unless you hit that deep sleep, like your body's not actually resting. Like you could have your eyes closed and, maybe an hour passes and it goes quicker than what you thought, but you didn't hit that deep sleep that your body actually needs to recover. And so your body's like actively still awake almost, even though you feel like you might be sleeping. So like, you really have to hit that deep sleep at night to really give your body that recuperation and response that it needs to actually relax and recover.
Right. Everybody's balance is a little bit different too. But even with sleep and looking past sleep, like when you deprive yourself of something such as, sleep or proper nutrition, or making sure that you're getting enough water, like there are bound to be side effects to that are going to be poor. You're going to, you might slip into depression, right? Depression's a big one too. You're going to get added stress, which in turn could add to that weight gain, among many other things. So, physically, mentally, and emotionally, like if you feel like you're not balancing sleep correctly, like it is going to be an issue. So, those are the big things that I wanted to touch on. Kyle, did you have anything else in terms of the benefits of sleep, lack of slep?
Yeah, I just think there's so many benefits. Like you'll feel better, you'll be more interactive, you'll be more on your toes. Helps a lot with anybody that's working a desk job. I'm sure you've been in instances where you're extremely tired the next day, and obviously working a desk job while you're really tired is just, you're sitting there trying to keep yourself awake if you don't have some form of caffeine or anything like that. And so, I mean, it's really important to get some good sleep. And another thing I'll mention too is, sometimes people are like, oh, I didn't sleep very well last night. I'll just take a nap. And a lot of times, naps don't really, you're not you're not asleep a long enough period of time to where you hit that deep sleep that your body needs. You're really just like resting your eyes. And the other thing too is, naps really shouldn't be anything more than 15 minutes to give your body like that little restart that it might need during the day. And it definitely won't make up for any lack of sleep that you might have lost the night prior.
Right. Yeah, definitely try to get some sleep. Find your balance. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. You may not need 8 hours, right? You may only need 6 hours to feel good. And I think a lot of that too is like if you actually are waking up to something that you enjoy, like a good job, or you're actually happy in life, then maybe all you need is 5 to 6 hours of sleep. And you could be doing a lot better if you're actually happy in life than somebody who sleeps 9 or 10 hours a day and they get up to a miserable job, but they get a sufficient amount of sleep. So, sleep is just a part of the puzzle when it comes to piecing together a happy lifestyle. But, all right, Kyle, if you don't have anything else, we can end it there.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Get your sleep.
Awesome. Yeah, get your sleep. We hope that you liked and found value in this episode. As always, thank you for taking the time to listen. You can come be a part of the Envision Nation Discord. We still have a lot going on in there. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Pinterest at Official Iron Pulse. But don't worry, if you prefer email, you can subscribe to the Iron Pulse report by visiting shopironpulse.com. And remember, no matter what you do, be all in.